Good afternoon, ladies and gents. My name is Matt Scorpion, and welcome back to Destiny 2. And I just want to say Merry Christmas and even a Happy New Year, as that is just around the corner at this weekend. So, with that, the Dawning is on its last legs. So, officially, when you log in, you'll get a notification basically saying that the Dawning will be going until January the 3rd. Essentially, next reset, we have one last week of Dawning. So, whether or not it's wanting to get cosmetics, grind out the seal, the Starbaker title, guild it, or just find weapons and throw snowballs at people, whatever you want to do with the Dawning, you have one more full week of Destiny to do it. So with that, let's move on to the rest of the things. So, in terms of the rest of the world, we got some rotators. Now, it doesn't say it on entrance, but at the same time, it is a boosted, what's the words? Boosted Trials rep, so that is currently what the booster is. It's just not available just yet. And among that, there is some other things going on. So, in terms of our Vanguard, still no Grandmasters. Grandmasters comes 2 weeks after next reset, so 3 weeks from now, officially. But aside from that, it is currently, for a reset, the Corrupted, if I remember. Yes, the Corrupted. So this one, it's a bit of an annoying one. It's also going to be obviously a GM as well, but on Master, it's slightly more manageable with Togetherness. That's an annoying one. But at the same time, if you actually do manage to pin this one down, I do believe the drop is Malicious Birthright. So looking at currently at Light.gg, it does say Horror's Least and Malicious Birthright, which I don't know if Light.gg just didn't fix themselves when... Because I believe they removed Horror's Least from dropping just naturally. It has to be a Nightfall. So I would hedge a bet that it's Malicious Birthright, because we haven't seen that just yet, and that's still in rotation, so that's my bet for this one. Then into Gambit, nothing new with Gambit as usual, just because, you know, there's no booster active. And like I said, there's currently the Trials booster. It's just not around just yet. So we have the usual rotations, Quick Play, Competitive, Crucible Labs, Zone Control, and Momentum Control for our rotation matches, which is pretty much just SWAT from Halo, but Destiny, in case you've never played it before. Then, into the Legends content and everything else. So we currently, for our rotation raid, is Vault of Glass, which as usual means all of the challenges active, and per the usual with Master Mode as well, that means all time lost gear is available at once, in case you just want to do a clean sweep through and get everything done. So there is that. And there's also recovery focused armor in case you feel like farming it, and Master Kingsfall is just not your thing. Speaking of which, for Kingsfall, current challenge is the hands-off challenge, which is Oryx challenge, which I believe is just to do multi-bomb. But aside from that, on Master Mode as well, it is currently strength-focused armor for Master Mode Kingsfall as well. Then our rotator currently is the Grasp of Avarice dungeon, so if you wish to do anything just for pure rotation, pinnacle, farming, anything, now is the time to do that as well. Then, speaking of rotations, let's see. Into the Throne World for the Valor Disciple raid. Current challenge mode is Swift Destruction, which is all the way back around to first encounter challenge, where it's basically you have to kill the unstoppable abominations that spawn during the first encounter within a few moments of each other. Now, aside from that, the last thing to check in the Throne World for rotations, our weekly mission is the Communion, where you head to Europa and commune with the European Pyramid to reveal the new Deep Sight abilities and all that. Now, in terms of everything else, that is pretty much everything throughout the world, if I recall. What's here in the Cosmodrome? What's going on down here? Why is there be a pinnacle? Oh, right, Grasp of Avarice. I forgot, that's our thing. And it goes there. So, in terms of the seasonal stuff, now checking with the Plunder stuff and Catch Crash, it's currently Ransacks, which I forget which one it is, but if in case that name sounds familiar, it's either the Captain or the Vandal. Forget which one, though, so you just kind of have to, you know, go for it. But aside from that, in terms of our Heist Battleground stuff, so we have an additional thing where our Heist Battleground Legend 1 is on the moon this week. And in case you want to know the modifiers, currently it is -10 cap as usual. Fire Pit for Acolytes spawning fire pools when killed. Raiders now have Void Shields. Scorn Raiders have Void Shields. Barrier Unstoppable Champions throughout. Equipment Lock as well as all 3 Elemental Shields available. But there's no match game, so that's a weird thing. So, aside from that, that is that. And, of course, new seasonal stuff for More Than a Weapon. And then, Psyops Battlegrounds Arena, of course, that is here, and their legend mode is the Cosmodrome, in case you needed to know. Now, I don't know just yet if anything new has changed with Seraph Shield. I imagine it did, just because that's how Revision 0 usually goes, especially in legend mode. So they didn't really change anything in terms of there, but we'll just have to wait and see if the story goes. And lastly, for Eternity, checking out Dares of Eternity. For our Legend mode rotation, we have Hive, Vex, and Valish to Arc for Dares of Eternity. Now, speaking of seasonal, now it's time to check our seasonal challenges, because that is always an important thing as the weeks go by. So we have More Than a Weapon 4, which is essentially complete the story, and defeating Hive and the Scorn combatants anywhere in the system. 250 of them to be specific. So you could probably just go to actually just play the Corrupted Strike. Now, aside from the Taken, there's pretty much Hive and Scorn all over that place. Then we also have Heist Battlegrounds 3, which is playing Heist Battlegrounds at a certain amount. If you've already done 20, then it will count. And then you have to breach 3 vaults without alerting Wrathborn Reinforcements, which I believe just means get into the vaults with the Refraction Cores, breaking the runes before the timer goes down. Now, Entropic Shock. Defeating commands with Arc or Void damage and Heist Battlegrounds specifically. Self-explanatory. And we also have Unlock any pattern for any seasonal weapon or Icalis version 1.03 weapon. So basically, any of the new guns, the Icalis weaponry that was just brought back, or the Seraph weapons that are now here, just unlock any of the patterns from them, you will complete that. Then we also have for unlocking artifact mods, get through 12 mods, and you will also have that one for free. And we also have Precise Calibration, which is calibrating scout rifles, sniper rifles, and linear fusion rifles by landing specifically precision final blows. Bonus progress against Guardians as usual. Then for our playlist stuff, Gambits, we have defeating powerful combatants in Gambit. Earn bonus progress for defeating high-value targets. In Crucible, it's basically playing Momentum Control, defeating Guardians specifically. Earn bonus progress with Zone Advantage, aka having 2 or more zones. And we also have Darkest Nightfall. Complete any Nightfall strike on hero difficulty or higher, and you get a free Nightfall weapon for the reward. Not Adept, just a Nightfall weapon. Not sure what's going to turn out to be. Probably one of the new ones. Not 100% sure. Now, lastly, before we leave, it is what Banshee has in the store, and then I shall leave you for now. So, we have for weapons, Staccato, 46, Triple Tap Focused Fury. Now, if you want something for backup damage, that's not half bad, I'm not gonna lie. All the range perk, tac mag, stability, or that. If you wanted just a simple primary that could be backup damage in case you literally are out of every single round of other backup damage, might not think that's a bad idea. And since it can't be crafted, that's actually a worthwhile choice possibly. Then Jiraraka 3SR, a Vice Rapid Fire Scout Rifle, which, interesting here. I don't know why I didn't think this. This one can roll with Golden Tricorn, which means this one can be used on a Stasis subclass. Interesting. But also, Vice Scout Rifles are pretty handy, PvE and PvP. Good perk rolls, damage perks, of course, in a Vice Stinger Origin trait, so I would recommend giving this a whirl in case anyone hasn't, or they have already given up on Rapid Fire Scouts. Believe it or not, Vice Rapid Fires is a different breed, kind of. And we also have Redback 5SI, a Vice Sidearm. Different story, though. I'm just gonna leave it there. Sidearms are weird. And then we also have Funnelweb, which is everyone's favorite freaking Recluse knockoff, but at the same time, autoloading Focus Fury. Autoloading is good, Focus Fury is not, considering how many rounds you have that are bouncy and you cannot hit crits with them. Now, Typhon GL5, a role that I would recommend, Unrelenting Explosive Light, handy for endgame in case you have anything with grenade launchers, as well because of Breach and Clear, possibly handy for endgame now because of what it does, and I believe it also has chill clips. You can actually make use of that. But of course, then we also have Taipan 4FR, which I will repeat what I've been saying before. I would get this if you need it for bounty, but if you need to use it for damage or anything, I would just craft it and make the usual triple tap firing line roll. It is much better at that stage than anywhere else. With that, my name is Matt Scorpion. This has been everything for the Reset Update, and I will remind you, Dawning ends next week. If there's anything you want, whether it's just cosmetics, guns, or just to do something before it goes away, I'd recommend you do it now, because time is definitely running out. With that, my name is Matt Scorpion. I'll see you in the next video.